What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. NBS Talk Nelson.
At NBS, we believe in banking for life. For over 160 years, we've been a trusted banking provider for generations of locals like you. We know our clients personally and build long-term relationships with them, offering flexibility by giving our staff freedom to make quick decisions to put them first. Experience banking for life with NBS.
Welcome to Bay's Joinery Football Focus, your prime source for all things football in the top of the South. I'm Chris Butler, and back with me again, Ryan Skippy Stewart. Welcome back, mate.
Yeah, good. Yeah, beat the rain in. So
I know,
nice
geez,
and
didn't
dry.
it pour down last night? And on that note, so what, grounds closed today being, what are we, a Thursday?
Yeah,
afternoon?
council put it out this morning. Yeah, that they're just trying to protect them for the weekend if they can, which is good. But hopefully we can get a bit of wind and a bit of dryness tomorrow, and yeah, we'll get the games in on Saturday.
Right, so we don't know what's the forecast looking like over the next...
Looking good. I think
Okay,
we've got
so-
a wee bit more this afternoon, and then I think it's meant to be clear all day tomorrow.
So cross fingers,
Yep.
we'll get some football on the weekend. Hope so. A big shout out to our naming rights sponsor, Bay's Joinery, of course, George Molnar and the team. Thanks also to our venue sponsor, Stan and the team at the Turf Hotel. They're setting up for Jam Night tonight, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, Thursdays.
And apparently we're going to be doing the sound check. And also, the Full Monty is 28th, isn't it? 28th of August.
We've
And
got the poster. Yep, it's facing the other way, but yep, I know
and,
that.
I know Stan's in it. One of your lads
One
in
of
it,
the
is that
boys
right?
that might have been it, yeah, Trayvon Myers, the American guy. I think two of our Masters players might have been roped in as well. So
Jeez.
they've been had rehearsals on Monday.
Oh, did they?
So they're putting a lot of work in. They're taking it seriously, and yeah. So
And apparently there's tables, you can purchase tables, so just check out for the details on the Turf Hotel website, and money raised goes to Nelson Cancer
Society, yep, which is a brilliant cause.
Check out Turf Hotel Facebook page for entertainment this weekend, including normally on Sunday, the meat raffle. In today's episode, we're diving into senior men's and women's local premiership, the Southern League, both men and women, the latest from New Zealand football, well, pretty much an early exit for both teams. So we'll talk Olympics and a little bit of overseas news. It's not quite a fervour of transfers at the moment in Premier League.
Couple of big ones this morning.
Oh, is
that
that
we can
right?
talk
Well, you'll
about.
have
Yep,
to
yep.
you'll have to
Couple of big ones.
keep me up to speed on that one. I heard about the New England manager, so we'll talk about that. First of all, senior football update brought to you by Sheehan Financial, KiwiSaver Insurance and Financial Planning. And it's the Nelson Pine Senior Women's First Division. And results from the weekend, Mapua, geez, look at that. They were in form at home, 8-1 over Getcar's FC Nelson Diamonds. I think you picked the Diamond.
And I picked them to score as well. I'm taking the goal though, because I said they'd get one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did say they would get one and go for
I
it.
think you picked
Yep.
the win.
I did pick a win though. Yeah, I was a wee bit off.
Spring and Fern Breakers just going down to the Swans 1-0. So the Swans in form.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
knew that was going to be a tough one when we talked about it last week, and yeah, that would have been a great game to watch, I would say. But
And then Nelson Suburbs Reserves doing the job against a very tough Golden Bay Shield maiden side. 2-0, that score there.
yeah, a couple of debuts as well for some of the younger girls from the academy, which was good to see. So good to see those girls coming through from the under-16s and taking part with the team, which is awesome.
Lining up this weekend, Motueka Angels are taking on the Golden Bay Shield maidens at Memorial Park. So the Shield maidens will be wanting to bounce back, but Motueka are at home.
Yeah, again, Motueka, again, we said about teams improving. I think their men's have improved a bit, and I think they have as well. But I think Golden Bay, after losing last week, will be up for that.
They're quite strong, aren't they? 2 wins for Motueka this year.
Yeah.
So you never know. Getcar's Nelson Diamonds are taking on the women's reserves. So that's going to be a very tough match. Is at the Botanics.
That game is off.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think FC are struggling with a bit of sickness and a bit of illness. I've seen some emails flying around this morning. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think they're struggling for numbers due to illness. So that game might be replayed or might be a default. I'm not sure, but I know FC are trying hard to put a team together.
So one only one league game this match in this week in the league. I'm not too sure what the other teams are up to.
They're finished.
Oh, is that
so
right?
There was a couple of games that were missed because of cup rounds.
Ah, right.
So I think our Swans are finished. I think they played their last game last week against the Breakers, and then I think they go in now they play the last 3 weeks. I think they've got friendlies among the league,
and that'll be waiting for cup finals for those that are in the cup.
That
finals.
last week, yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, so we'll see how the final table washes up at the end of the day, but we've got Richmond Foxes on 37, the reserves on 28, so the Foxes well ahead and very unlikely going to be caught.
Nope. Nope.
So we'll firm that up next week, but Spriggan Fern Tahuna Breakers on 24, sitting in third, but only 2 points ahead of, I think it might be the Swans.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Yeah, men's senior Nelson Pine senior men's first division, and the results from the weekend. And geez, what a bag of mixed results this week.
Strange one.
Golden Bay Mountain Goats finishing strong 4-1 against the Carinni, and that was at Victory Square.
Yeah,
so,
and I said the Carinni are hard to beat there with their support and stuff. So the Mountain Goats have done very, very well to come over the hill and get that result. So that's a top result for them.
And then, probably lost chance, you'd have to say. That's the season done. Probably FC Nelson going down 7-3 against Rangers.
Didn't see that coming at all. I thought the boys would have been up for that. And as I said last week, I thought when they're up for a game, FC are hard to beat at home. But yes, I don't know what went wrong there. I wasn't at the game, unfortunately. I was in Christchurch. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, a shame we haven't got PB here to talk us through it. But either Rangers have just peaked at the right time, or FC Nelson struggling for a couple of numbers. Not too sure there, but
it's again, as I said to you just before we went on air, a lot of illness around at the moment.
Yeah,
so I'm just wondering if they were 3 or 4 short. FC, to be honest, because watching them this year, I would expect them to be a lot closer than that with Blenheim.
And that was really their opportunity, but perhaps gone. They still have a game in hand. So, and then Smith & Sons, Richmond. And of course, at first glance, I go, geez, how about this for an upset? Richmond beating Nelson Suburbs Reserves 3-0. But I have inside information.
Yeah, myself.
That actually that game was 3-1 win to Reserves, but it came down to a bit of an administration
error. You could
say.
Yeah, I had to put a message on the chat to the boys on Wednesday night apologising. Unfortunately, Alex Ward, who's one of our SPL players, has been out for nine weeks. Hasn't played for 10 weeks in the SPL, and again, coming back from injury, I forgot that we need to reclassify him online with mainland football before he plays, even though we put him on Comet and we put him on the team sheet. The boys won 3-1, and then I had apologised because, again, he played. He didn't score, but they overturned the result. So, yeah, I had to say sorry to Dave and the boys because they've only lost 1 game this season. But now it goes down as 2 just because, I forgot to follow out a piece of paper. So, have to hold my hands up. It's my job. So, all I can do is apologise to the boys, and I know they'll be going out hard to win this week.
Yeah, but hard, isn't it, when you've got players coming back from injury? I mean, automatically they would go into that reserve side to get some fitness back and game time. If you can't just throw them back into a mainland side, so you got to keep a tab on the players all the time, which is not always easy. But tell us about the rules. So if you've got mainland players, how many can come down at any one time?
The same as all the leagues. So you can, in Division 1, you can reclassify players to go into Division 2. You're allowed 3, and that's the rule in every division, I think. And anyone can play up because you're going up a division, you're not going down. So that's always been the rule. Again, with the SPL as well, we're allowed to drop 3 down. A bit hard for us, as I explained to you earlier. We start 4 weeks earlier than everyone else. So for us to rotate a squad early on, we have to be very careful on who gets game time, because if they get a certain amount of game time, then they count as reclassifying players. And it doesn't matter if they're 16 or 31. If we do that, and it happens 6 times in the first 4 weeks, that means we've got 6 players that we have to reclassify, knowing we can only drop down 3. So then we have to go to mainland and say, here, he hasn't played for 4 weeks now. Can we take the SPL off him and he's a Division 1 player now? He's played for Division 1 more. So it is. It's here. The rules, again, they're put in place to protect teams. I understand that. But I do think as a region, we really do need to look at it, because the last thing we want is players not being able to play football on a weekend. That's we do it so people can play. And I know it's hard. We do find it hard. We're not going to scream and moan about it, but it is harder for us.
There was a rule, I remember, and I could be wrong here, that if you played 3 games for the team above you,
you stayed there.
You stayed there.
Yeah. So then
then it was a reclassification.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it goes on.
So if players are coming back down, I guess it's the paperwork and
the other thing, Chris, is to remember as well is whatever catalogue you start in. So if because we have to follow out, our players that play SPL have to follow out APAs, which are amateur player agreements. So we register 32 players because that's our squad and our reserves. You never know what's going to happen. So they're registered for it, but they're in our catalogue. So they are judged to have started in that catalogue, even if they come off the bench for 5 minutes. They're an SPL player, and then we've got to reclassify them. I think if that is the rule, then if they do drop down and play 3 consecutive games for the Division 1, they should be reclassified as a Division 1 player. Yeah. So it's just giving clarity around that. And it is. There's a lot of different legislations, and we just got to look at it and just make it clear. Because as I said, it's football should be coming at the top of it and people playing. And again, as long as it's clear for everyone and we can understand it and work around it, and it'll be good. And I think everyone is pretty honest and open, and it was a mistake for me, and we've got to wear it. Oh, well, it's always going to be disappointed by it, but
it's going to be a few points, isn't it, Skippy? And,
I'm going to be shouting pizzas for the next 3 weeks. I think
and Richmond will give you a shirt for the season. So
well,
yeah. But anyway, no one wants to win by default. They want to win the game fair and square, and but I mean, even 3-1. Probably Richmond would have been quite happy with that competitive score, because reserve's not an easy side to play. So the draw continues for this week, and we've got Sprig and Fern Tahuna taking on FC Nelson Karini. And Karini would be licking their wounds a bit. They'll be looking to bounce back again. Could have been a few players away, but another tough one. They're going to be against Tahuna at Tahuna Nui.
Yeah, again. Still can't get round the Karini one, to be honest. 4-1 at home.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, have they lost a few to illness and just a little bit weaker than usual? And again, I know the Sprig and Fern, they always get up for it at home, and the boys get up for it, and they get a good crowd because the players that kick off at 1 come back and watch. So I'm going to pick Sprig and Fern to win that.
There you go, home ground advantage. And then we've got Nelson Suburbs reserves, who will be wanting to get some points back on the table, but they come against a team that is in good form at the moment.
Yep.
The Goats, and that's at Saxon Field.
Yeah, I know the last time they played in the cup, it was a good game at home. So I think again the boys will be a bit upset and licking their wounds a little bit from last weekend and what's went on during the week. But I think they'll get up for that last game of the season for them. They'll want to go out in a high and on the home ground. So
FC Nelson definitely licking their wounds, but they get another chance at Guppy Park for redemption, and they take on Richmond. But again, it's not going to be easy, especially if they do have a few players away.
And going off that scoreline against Rangers, they must have a few. But again, they'll want to bounce back, and PB will have them up for it after losing and make sure they finish strong. So it'll be I think it'll be a tighter game than previous. But I can just see FC Nelson just being too strong.
So off the top of your head, you're saying that the women's first division, most of the teams had finished their round. So that's it for the... So with the men, off the top of your head, do you know how many more rounds we've got?
Our boys are finished. This is their last game.
Is that right?
And then there's catch-up games because FC Nelson were in the Chatham Cup.
Yes.
So they've got a couple, and I think Blenheim have one because they were because the other cup round. So I think it's all done by I want to say the 17th.
Right.
It's the last round of games.
Yeah. And then you do have cup games.
First week of September, we've got the finals at Richmond.
So the table as it stands, Rangers on 30. They actually do have a game in hand. The reserves on 25, and FC Nelson with a game on hand on 24. So it is pretty much looking as though Rangers are gonna.
They're nearly there. They're nearly there. Want to get They're not playing this weekend, though, are they?
No, I didn't actually.
So they don't have a game. So
FC
get a win, put a bit of pressure on. You never know what happens when pressure comes on. So they'll be hoping to get a win and put a bit of pressure on Rangers for their last game.
Yeah,
but last two, sorry.
Yeah, yes, right. Okay,
so they've got Karini again.
Yes, they've
Playing
got
them across
Carini as a catch-up.
at Victory.
Yeah.
So playing them against Carini.
Yeah, right.
You never know. Lebu and that turn up.
True. So
Yep. So it's still
still
think it's
on.
over.
Still on.
Don't think
Still
it's over
alive.
yet.
The Southern League women and Kashmir Technical 3-0 over Otago University. Nelson Suburbs, a surprising result, you'd probably have to say, going down 2-1 to Roslyn Wakari.
Yeah.
And be interesting to, hear from Giesen what his thoughts were on the game. Coastal Spirit going down to Dunedin City Royals. So Dunedin City, very strong, aren't
Strong
they?
team, very strong.
And they, Dunedin were away.
Yeah, they do seem to travel well, to be fair to the Royals. They've got a good side, experienced side, a lot of National League players in there.
So any feedback on the Nelson Suburbs girls team? You haven't had a chance.
Again, I've only seen
Geezer
Geezer really at academy and that, but again, very disappointed with it.
Yeah.
I think they said they were good in patches, our girls, and just can't seem to put a full 90-minute performance together at the moment, which is unlike them because they're usually pretty consistent. So yeah, they'll be hurting after that. And it doesn't get any easier for them this weekend.
No, that's right. And if we look at that draw, Nelson Suburbs are taking on Kashmir Technical. It is at home, so they need your support on Saturday. That's at 12:30 at Saxon Field. But yeah, big mountain to climb against Kashmir Tech.
Yeah. Just on that game, it was lovely to see Anna McPhee, who used to play for us. She's down playing for Cash Tech. She's here on work placement at the moment for 8 weeks at Waimea School.
Oh, wow.
She was training with the girls this week.
Oh,
so she trained with the Suburbs girls. So it's good to see her back and with the team, and good to see the girls just letting her come in and train with them, even though they've got to go to war on Saturday. So
yeah, I know. And I suppose a bit of a whisper in her ear that perhaps they can work out some plane tickets and
just any high school's got any jobs going at the moment. Anna McPhee needs a teaching job in PE. So just shout outs to any high schools PE teacher, Anna McPhee. Yeah.
Get her in there.
Just have a thought.
Then we have got Otago University taking on Coastal Spirit. That is at Otago University. So that's a trip away for Coastal. Yeah, geez, that's not going to be an easy trip for them either, is it?
Nah, but
they'll be too strong.
I think Coastal will be, as I said, they've hit form. They'll be, unlucky that they got the Royals and lost at home, but they'll look to bounce back because it is pretty tight. It's going to swing both ways, I think, as the season goes on. They've still got 3 games left after this weekend, I think. So a lot to play for there. So they'll be hoping to get a draw and put a bit of pressure on the two above.
And then Dunedin City Royals travelling pretty well, taking on Roslyn Wakari, and that is in Dunedin at Tahuna Park, the famous Tahuna Park. So be a tough job for Roslyn.
I think that's going to be a long day for Roslyn, to be honest. Yeah, I think, as I said, the Royals are in good form, and I think they'll be keen to be at home and get a win there.
Although Roslyn will be pretty happy they got the win.
Traveling, yeah. Just on that, Roslyn, we bumped into them at the airport in Christchurch when we were flying back after our Tech game, and bumped into Paul Eiffel's daughter.
Oh, right.
Who plays for them. So yeah, it was good to see Romy. She played against Saxon. She got the win, so she wound me up a little bit, but good to see her as well playing football and following in her dad's footsteps a little bit, which is good.
So the table looking like Dunedin City Royals at the top, Kashmir Technical behind on just 3 points behind. No catch-up games there, so someone's going to need to tip up Dunedin, that's for sure. And then Coastal Spirit 1 point behind Kashmir, so pretty tight. Tight.
That goal difference that Kashmir has might come into play. They're 24.
Yeah.
24.
Yeah, I know. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, Royals are top by 3, but if it goes down to the wire and the goals come in, Kashmir are double ahead there.
Southern League men and results. Geez, look at that. Christchurch United 11-0 against FC. So
we did call that. We did. Both of us called that. We did. Said it was going to be a tough night. Yes,
that's right. But I probably didn't expect 11-0. Maybe earlier in the season, but obviously fallen off the wagon a bit. Ferrymead Bays going down to Coastal Spirit 3-0.
Yeah.
We thought maybe Ferrymead might give them a bit of a run for their money. University of Canterbury, no result there, so I'm not too sure.
Flight was cancelled out of Dunedin, and they could only get 3 of the players on the next flight. So that was Mainland made the decision to postpone that one. Spoke to Rich, the Royals coach, during the week, and he just doesn't know when he's playing these catch-up games because I know he's got 2 that he's got to play in Christchurch midweek. So
Must
yeah,
just go there for the week.
we'll see. Yeah, we'll
Play
see.
them both.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. But he's got 2 games to make up in Christchurch at some stage. So he's pulling his hair out a little bit.
Do it pre-season.
Yeah, just add it
Do
on.
it pre-season
Add it on.
in Christchurch.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we had Kashmir Tech 6-2 over
Yeah.
you guys. So
Crazy game.
tell us about that one, though.
We actually started really, really well on the front foot. Lennon had a really good chance in the first sort of 6 minutes where the keepers made a really good save. And we actually looked at we were on the front foot and we've had a bit of a mix up at the back and we've given away a penalty. And they've scored. And again, we got back on top again. And again, we haven't tracked the man. We're 2-0 down. And you take a bit of momentum, then you're going to struggle. And they got another quick one just before half time, make it 3. And me and Neil went in at half time and said to the boys, we need a reaction. We need to come out. We need to get amongst it. And we came out and scored straight away. Got it to 3-1. Got back into the game, created a really good chance, which we should have scored. We missed to make it 3-2. And again, they've gone down the other end and scored again. And made it 4-1. And then we got back in it again, scored, made it 4-2. And then Dante Marner got sent off, and they scored their last 2 goals in the last 4 minutes and put us to bed. So the boys are a wee bit deflated because in spells we were really, really good. I thought we were, but again, Kashmir Tech, if you give them the opportunities, and I think if anyone watches the highlights and sees those goals, how clinical they are, and they're a good side, and that's why they're top of the league.
That's why they're sitting at the top there. Yeah. That's right. Nomads United 4-1 over Selwyn. So Nomads have been pretty good form this year, and Selwyn have had their ups and downs. So not surprised there. And if we look at the draw coming up for this weekend, FC 20, they really need to bounce back, don't they, against Dunedin City Royals. That is at Avonhead Park. But not going to be easy, is it?
Nah, Dunedin again fresh, didn't play last week, boys, because the game being called off. I think they'll be up for a match. So I think the Royals will have too much for FC.
So very tight at the top of the table. The top 2 go through to nationals.
Yes, National League. So you've got 3 in the race still. Yeah.
So Universities of Canterbury have got to take on Kashmir. I mean, I can't see them doing it, but they do pull out a bit of form every now and again, and Coastal will be crossing their fingers for sure.
Yeah.
They do the job.
Yeah. Cash take it home. They get momentum. They know how to win. They've been in this position every year. I think they've won the league they didn't win it last year, but prior to that, I think they've won it every other year, pretty much the last 4 or 5 years. So they know what they're doing at the business end of the season, and they know how to win games of football. So I can't see Unis causing them too much.
Selwyn United at home to Ferrymead Bays.
Come on, Selwyn. We're trying to secure 4th.
Well,
so,
that's right.
So
Ferrymead just behind you, aren't they?
Yeah, we're hoping the Stallions can get up for that one and get a home win on the turf.
Nelson Suburbs taking on Nomads. You do get a home game, and that is on Sunday at 12:30 at Saxton. So make sure you get down there. But again, Nomads a tricky side, aren't they?
Yeah, we lost to them in the first round. We didn't turn up, and they were good. They're a good side, and they're thereabouts, and they'll be pushing for 4th place as well because they're not too far behind. So we've got a couple of big weeks. If we can win this week and win against Bays the week after, we'll pretty much secure 4th place, which is good, and we'll keep pushing for that. As I said, we're trying to beat our score from last year, which was the year before, which was 32 points when we finished 3rd. So mathematically, we can still get there. So that's still our aim. We'll be out to win that, and we enjoy playing Nomads. They're a good football inside, and Matt's boys try to play, and it's a good game for people to come down and watch.
And Coastal Spirit and Christchurch. I mean, this is the big clash,
isn't it?
Because 2 reasons. I mean, Cash Tech probably will get the win, but if Coastal if they get held to a draw or they get tipped up, Coastal Spirit will want the win to jump ahead. And then on top of that, Christchurch United are only 3 points behind.
Yeah, it's a big game.
And then could square up the table.
Because if you look at Coastal, and the goal difference is only 2 as well.
Yeah.
So Coastal have quite a good run in after this game. So they'll be hoping this is the tough one for them, and if they can get over the line, I think the last 3 games are against Universities, FC 2011, and Royals is their last 3 games. And again, Christchurch United still have to play Tech after this. So Christchurch they have to go out for the win, really, I think. I think if they want to stay in that hunt, I think they need 3 points on Saturday or Sunday, sorry, their game is. So, wish them all the best. And wish Coastal all the best as well. As it says, my former club, they've done really, really well. They're in the semi-final of the Chatham Cup.
Yeah.
Still haven't lost a game in the final of the English Cup in Christchurch. So they've had a brilliant season. So fair play to them.
Coastal are at home at Linfield Park, and that's 1:00 on Sunday. In case you're interested, probably find it on FIFA Plus somewhere.
Yeah.
Overseas news, and it's all pretty much been about the Olympics, but there is the odd bit of news coming through with the odd transfer and a few names I've never heard of, South American, and
West Ham have been busy.
have they?
They've
Yeah,
signed
right.
4, I think.
Right.
They signed the German number 9. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but he's a striker. They've also brought in Rodriguez from the Argentina squad, midfielder. He was a free agent, so they've picked him up. They have picked up a couple more off the top of my head. I can't think of them. Oh, they're trying to buy Wan-Bissaka from Man United. I think that's close.
Oh, right.
They're getting done as well. So they've been busy in the market. Man United have brought 2 or 3 in early. Young centre back who's now out for 3 months. So they spent 50 million on him and he got injured in pre-season. So they won't be happy with that. But yeah, everyone else has sort of been quiet.
Now I saw Alvarez.
That's huge.
He's been sold, hasn't he?
He's gone 82 million to Atletico Madrid.
So I wonder if that was just too many stocks up front, too many options up front.
Yeah, and they bought him for 30 or 40. So it would have been.
So maybe it's
a good bit of business. And
business decision.
They're under a bit of pressure, aren't they, about the rules, Man City? So let's get a bit of money in. Just clear house. Yeah.
Pay for the lawyers.
No, they have to balance the books, don't they? So maybe it's time to get rid of a few. But I was watching a podcast last night. The guy made just said how far Man City are ahead of everyone. They're selling their second best striker who sits on the bench for 82 million.
Yeah.
And the rest of us don't have a player like that.
Yeah.
So it does show where they're at, how big a powerhouse they are. And Gallagher, Chelsea have sold him to Atletico Madrid as well, the captain.
Oh,
so it looks like he's gone as well to Atletico Madrid, who on the same podcast, the guy said that they had no money at the end of last season. So I don't know where it came from, but they're throwing it around at the moment. So yeah, interesting to see what happens there.
And, watch the space, because before we know it, there'll be, pre-season tournaments, and we'll be back in the Premiership before you know it.
I think we've got the Charity Shield this weekend.
Oh, separate.
So I think it's who won the FA Cup. So whoever won the FA Cup in first in the Premier League. So that's this weekend, and then the weekend after is Premier League.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and the Championship, League 1, League 2 all starts this weekend. So straight back into it.
Another bit of news: Lee Carsley, if anyone's heard of him, is expected to be the interim manager for England. And they're coming up to play their Nations League at the moment. Some games against the Republic of Ireland and Finland. That's next month. So they have to have a manager. He's stepped up. So Carsley is actually led the England under-21s. They won the European Championship in 23 for the first time in 39 years.
Yeah.
So, I just thought, well, who's this guy?
He's played a bit. He was Everton for a while. He was at Derby County, I think is where he started. So he was around for a long time. I think he was an industrial centre midfielder, if I can remember, and he worked hard and got into coaching quite early after his career, and he's gone on. And
well, that's good knowledge, Skippy, because I'd written down here, Carsley's 50, a former Premier League midfielder. So there you go. Who played for clubs including Derby and Everton in a 17-year career.
Yeah, I remember him in the Premier League, especially with Derby early on, and then he went to Everton after Derby. After Derby got relegated. But yeah, he seems to have done a great job with the youth team. And again, it's good if you're English to see that they're not rushing and trying to get someone in. So he'll give them a bit of time to sit down and find out who's going to be the main man going forward.
Well, and interesting that he has got some good results. So maybe they're just saying, well, obviously this guy's got something. So why hire a name all the time?
Yeah.
When a coach is performing like that, why not?
Yeah, and he knows the international scene.
Yeah.
He's been a part of it. And I think he's been there for a long time with England as well. I think he's been involved with the first team, but just more in a background position. But fair play, he'll get the opportunity to manage his country. And
because part of that as well is, with Southgate coming in, part of that is to look at the overall structure and how these teams are getting fed and those kind of things. So it could be just a succession of the work that's already been done.
And good for the under-21 boys, because they'll be going, hey, he's the big boss man now. Do you remember what I did in the Euros? Get me in. Right. Yeah, so he might give boys the opportunity. And And Southgate was criticised for that at times, for not giving the young boys a go. So yeah, if you're Yeah, if you've played under him on the under-21s, you'll be trying your best the next few games in the Premier League or wherever you're playing to put your hand up.
Now remind me, you Northern Ireland or
Northern Ireland?
You're Northern Ireland. So
Yep.
I was going to say, we'll see how he goes against Republic of Ireland, and you'll just say, well, I don't care. And Finland, but we'll see how he goes.
I think Lee Carsley might have played for Ireland. I'm not sure to check that. I'm nearly sure that he might have played for the Republic. He might not have had that many games, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one. I'm going to Google that when I get up.
My research didn't go.
Yeah. If that's right, though, I'm going to be buzzing with that next week. I'm going to call it now. I think he played for Ireland.
All right. Okay, we'll see how we go. The Olympics, and in the women, it's the finals this weekend, and Brazil taking on the United States. What a great game that's going to be.
Big shock in the semi-final there as well, with the world champions going out to Spain.
To
Brazil, 4-2. So Brazil will be happy with that. But just the girl that the manager, her name Emma Hayes, I think her name is. She was the Chelsea coach, and then she took the United States job. She's gone in there, and now she's playing for her first camp. She's now going for a gold medal. So I think it shows her class as a coach.
Yeah.
And I think she's brought in, again, a few young people, and she made big decisions. Like, she left Morgan out, who was a big striker for America for years. Alex Morgan, she didn't pick her. Took a younger striker. And if she can pull that off, I think she's done an incredible job in a short period of time. So it'll be a good game, because Brazil have got a couple of young girls. I watched the semi-final that are tricky and, exciting to watch. So.
Yeah, good to see them there, actually, Brazil, because... just the pedigree of the country.
Yeah, and they've been well known for years in men's and women's. So, good to see them back up there.
In the men, that's 4 a.m. on Saturday, if you're still up. France taking on Spain. So how's Spain going? I mean, in obviously with the men's football, and obviously world champions in the women as well, but the Euros, and then there's all these other sports that they've been winning as
exactly
well.
Incredible.
So they've maybe there's not much to do in Spain, because
just sport,
and they're winning everything, like yachting and all sorts of things.
Yeah, no, it's incredible.
So obviously France still very strong in that under 23 division, and if you think the senior men are done and dusted, all these 23s are coming through. They're in the final for the gold medal of the Olympics.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Thierry Henry's coaching the France squad, and because you're allowed three over 23s. He's picked 2 centre forwards that are over 23.
Wow.
So the guy that plays centre forward for Crystal Palace, who went on a run of games and scored 12 and 7, I think, for Crystal Palace in the season, he scored the winner in that game. And him and Lacazette, that used to be at Arsenal, are the 2 strikers. And they're showing their class in the last third. So Henry's former striker himself picked the right players for that, and then both the young lads around him. But be a really good game. As you said, Spain are very good, loads of experience in that team as well, even at young age. So good final.
Fantastic. All right, Skip, thank you very much once again. And let's hope the weather holds off. And
hopefully we get some football.
The
weekend.
And we're coming to the pointy end of the season too. So we'll be wrapping things up not too far away.
Yeah, and then just shout out that we've got the New Zealand secondary schools girls top tournament being hosted. We're hosting it at Saxton's in September.
Right.
So it's the first week of September. It's the whole week. We've got 34 teams here, the top team girl teams in the country. So if people need their football fix over those 5 days, there's loads of games down there. So get down and support the girls football and come down and have a watch.
Sounds good. Very good. We'll definitely be back next week. But that's it for this week. Thanks for listening. Thanks to our venue sponsor, the Turf Hotel, Stan and the team. Obviously, my co-host here, Ryan Skippy Stewart, and thanks to Bayes Joinery for their support. You can catch this and other podcasts on MBS Talk Nelson on our social media channels, and also Spotify under MBS Talk Nelson. We'll see you again next week on the Bayes Joinery Football Focus.
Talk Nelson Radio. It's the Talk of Nelson.